think we all like the sound of that. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock here on 13 News. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Anne Marie, in for Felicia, who's off today. Thanks for watching 13 News at 4. We're going to have a lot more on those headlines we just shared with you in a moment. We want to let you know that we're also looking to a sickness that is impacting summer concerts.
Yeah, sickness in quotation marks here. So far, it has taken a toll on fans for a number of musical artists. It's called Blue Dot Fever. See all those blue dots? It has to do with how many tickets are going unsold. So we'll explain that and how it's impacting the music industry also ahead this hour. But we start with the big question. Will the Chicago Bears leave Illinois for Indiana?
It's a story we've been following for months now, and now the lawmakers across the border in Illinois just wrapped up their legislative session, and they did so without coming to an agreement or a decision on a bill to keep the team in their state, Illinois. Jenna Webster joins us now live in studio with what's the next step for the team. Jenna.
That is the question that everybody has on their mind today. Really, the question that everybody's had on their mind, it feels like, since December when Indiana jumped into this conversation. Today, the Bears said they're sticking to their late spring, early summer timeline for choosing a site and will finalize its evaluation of both Arlington Heights in Illinois and Hammond in Indiana. So overnight, Illinois senators passed an amended bill to incentivize the Bears to stay, but the House didn't vote on the bill before ending the legislative session. The House Speaker telling Capital News Illinois they need time to get it right and they'll tackle it sooner rather than later.
I'm not sure there is more from Illinois' point of view here. You know, the option would be to call some sort of special session here early in the summer to stick to that Bears timeline, pass some sort of legislation that could help compete with Indiana, but there doesn't seem to be much of an appetite to do that.
When the Bears announced Arlington Heights as its new stadium site, they estimated the stadium and mixed-use district in that area would generate $1.3 billion in economic impact for Illinois, something the state now stands to lose if the team moves across the border to Indiana. I also talked to a sports economic development expert earlier today, and he says now the biggest difference in what Illinois and Indiana are offering the Bears is what he calls political expediency. He says Indiana was able to get an incentive bill together much faster than Illinois lawmakers. So coming up tonight at 6, you'll hear from him about why this is still a win for Indiana. He says even if the Bears do decide to stay in Illinois, but still not a whole lot of answers today.
Okay.
Yes, all right, Jenna. Thanks. We'll look forward to your continuing coverage throughout the news today. Today, a vote recount is underway for the race for Indiana Senate District 23. The incumbent, Spencer Deary, holding a 2-vote lead over Trump-backed challenger Paula Copenhaver. Copenhaver wants a recount. She has also asked to dispose 13 voters that she claims voted illegally back in the primary. But in a new filing now with the Indiana Recount Commission, she says it's unclear if 3 of those voters actually even cast a ballot in the primary election. You can follow the recount in this week's episode of Crossroad Politics. It's on our WTHR streaming app. And now we have the very latest fallout from Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith's controversial comments on a national podcast. He made these comments last week. He says he now is under fire for saying that he hates Islam.
Yeah, both the Muslim and Jewish communities have condemned those comments, but our 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker spoke with the Lieutenant Governor today, who says he's not backing down.
Well, Beckwith says he stands by his comments. He says he's been overwhelmed by what he calls the mostly positive feedback from Hoosiers. He says like he's never seen before about something he said.
Beckwith made his comments last week on the national podcast Flashpoint, where he told listeners he hates Islam, but he loves Muslims, saying they make great Christians when they convert. The lieutenant governor also said people need to be okay with hating again because there are things that God hates. Since then, Beckwith doubled down on what he said, defending it. His comments have drawn widespread condemnation, but also sparked an invitation from the Council on American Islamic Relations, the nation's largest Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization. CAIR has invited Beckwith to visit a local mosque and sit down with his Muslim constituents, saying Beckwith should respectfully engage with the Muslim community and not, quote, put a bullseye on them or cast doubt on his commitment to uphold religious freedom for everyone in Indiana. Beckwith said he and members of his church had visited a mosque before and had dialogue with local Muslims and would be willing to do that again.
I would be willing to sit down with them and chat with them, and I will continue to do that. And I will look them right in the eye and say, guys, I hate your religion. I love you, but I hate your religion, and I hate what you are allowing, the lies that you're allowing to take hold in your mind. And I'm gonna push back on them, because I think there's something better for you, and I think there's a better way of thinking. And I would not be loving if I didn't tell you that.
If we believe in something, you may disagree with it, but you don't have to demonize it. You don't have to call out these members as if they're demonic, and because that just stirs up hatred among the people who don't understand Islam. So that's our only objection.
And we reached out to the governor's office for reaction, but did not hear back. At least one Republican is speaking out publicly against Beckwith's comments. We'll have more on that at 5:30. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
We now know the name of a 23-year-old man killed in a shooting in a downtown Indianapolis parking garage. It happened around 6 o'clock Thursday night at South Capitol Avenue. Police say they found Brett Scroggum in the parking garage. He went to the hospital in critical condition. He died Saturday. Officers did detain a person of interest at the scene there, but they did not specify that person's involvement in the shooting, and that person since has been released.
Today, Metro Police announced it has arrested somebody in a hit-and-run crash just outside of our station here at WTHR. Take a look here. This is video from that crash along 10th Street between Meridian and Illinois. A crew reports seeing 2 cars involved in that crash and 2 guns in the front parking lot. Metro Police tell us 2 people went to the hospital, and a suspect is now facing preliminary charges of leaving the scene of an accident, causing injury, along with reckless driving and resisting officers. All right, to the weather now on this Monday afternoon. Hope you had a great weekend. This was a nice way to kind of start the week.
That's
Pretty
right,
calm out there today.
Sean is off today, and so we've got Angela Buckman talking about the sunny stretch of weather that's ahead.
A sunny stretch for sure. We just have to make it through the rest of today. A few clouds, a couple of showers out there. But when you see the 7-day in a few minutes, it's a bit summer-like as we kick off the month of June. Yes. So for kids that are out of school, it's going to be warm enough for the pools this week. I do have a couple of showers on radar to show you right now. So I'll give you a couple of closer views. We'll go north and east of Indianapolis. That's where we find the shower activity. So we're east along I-70, and you can see a little bit of rain south of Richmond near Connorsville and Liberty. We also have a few spotty showers across portions of Henry County into Newcastle, and then up to the north and west we still have a little bit of shower action from near Marion to Elwood over toward Gaston. Nothing strong, nothing severe, but might be just enough to interrupt some outdoor plans for the next couple of hours and having a big impact on temperature. We're in the upper 60s and low 70s where we have the clouds and a few of those showers. Otherwise, upper 70s and low 80s despite some clouds. Indianapolis at 77. We have 81 degrees in Bloomington. The clouds will clear. The rain chance will clear. We've got sunshine, a sunny stretch, the beginning of it tomorrow. 57 at 7 a.m. We'll be into the 70s midday. High temperatures tomorrow afternoon, middle and upper 70s. And then as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, some 80-degree warmth headed our way. We will also reintroduce some storm chances later this week. We'll talk more about that in the 7-day in a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Angela. Let's talk Colts. The offseason activities for the team now ongoing as we now officially have entered the month of June.
Dom's been out there the last couple of weeks and heard from one of the Colts' main playmakers today. Check it out.
OTAs continue here from West 56th Street as Indianapolis Colts off-season activities move right along as we are here in the month of June. Another day, another week, another month closer to the start of the NFL season. We've talked a lot about the quarterback room. Daniel Jones recovering from his Achilles injury. Anthony Richardson being granted permission to seek a trade. What is the situation with the quarterback room? Well, what about the guys that they're throwing to? Obviously, Michael Pittman Jr. departs via trade to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Alec Pierce gets an extension, inks his name to be with the Colts long term, and Tyler Warren, the tight end, coming into his second year, arguably the first option in this Colts offense behind Jonathan Taylor, just handing the ball off to him. Over 800 yards, 4 touchdowns in his rookie campaign with the Indianapolis Colts. The first-round pick really immersed himself nicely here in Indianapolis. There's no question about that. Warren talked about what developments he's seen going from year 1 to year 2 in his relationship with Daniel Jones.
Just coming in and, not being a rookie and kind of understanding what this will all look like and kind of what to expect as a player. So it's just been a little more comfortable for me and being able to just, get into certain things a little more and not worrying about the big picture because, you've never been here before. You're there another year with them and you're around them more and just getting to know them, on and off the field when you're out here, taking advantage of that, but also, hanging out, talking in the locker room, stuff like that, I think is really big for really the team as a whole and especially as a quarterback.
Tyler Warren leading the charge this season for the Indianapolis Colts offense in a room of playmakers like Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and of course Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, not to mention a slew of names in the tight end room as well, making an impact. There's no question about that. Coming up for you at 5, we heard from Shane Steichen yet again on an update with Daniel Jones and his injury progress. On schedule, looking good and feeling good here at Colts OTAs. We'll have much more on that coming up for you at 5. For now, here at the Colts Complex, I'm Dominic Miranda, 13 Sports.